Hey everybody, so I thought today would be fun to kind of take you along and show you kind of what an average online schooling day looks for me in my grade 3-4 class. I'm going to show you my plans and I'm going to take little snippets throughout the day and hopefully I'll put this all together and you'll see what a typical day looks like. Okay, so my area is anything but glamorous, but it's totally functional and I actually don't need a lot of space. So this is kind of where I teach from at school. This is my bike desk that you can see I have crafted. For my afternoons when I'm feeling like I need to move my body a little bit. So that's where I sit kind of in the afternoons, and this is where I sit. For the most part of the day, I'm going to bring my laptop out and set it up, and I bring all my stuff with me, and yeah, I'm going to get myself set up. I do have supervision in about 5 minutes, so I have my vest ready to go, and I'm going to head outside to do that. I have supervision every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every morning from 8 to 8:15, and I do the crosswalk, so I'll take you guys along with me for that. Our school always plays this song every day before announcements start. I love it. Okay, so I'm just sitting down now. I just finished my supervision and I like to spend these I have like about, 15 minutes before my class goes live. And so I take these 15 minutes just to go over everything for the day, make sure I'm all ready to go. I'm going to show you my plans and I'm going to show you my slides and how I put everything together. So let me just flip the camera around. Okay, so these are my chicken scratch plans. And I call them chicken scratch because this is what I see. The students don't see this, but this is what I see. So this is how I plan out my day. As you can see, I have it divided by grade 3 and grade 4. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what my days look like. Just wanted to show you how I plan. And so my blocks always start with the morning meeting, and then we have language arts, recess, and then 15 minutes of language arts. It's usually a small, quick activity. This is when I do some of my guided reading. Here is my math. Then I have religion. We have lunch. I have an afternoon meeting. We do journals for 15 minutes, and then science and social. And you can see everywhere on my page, everywhere that's highlighted is when I'm live with my students. So I'm live for the whole morning today. And then I'm live to do my guided reading. I'm live to review long division with my grade 4s. And then I'm off for an hour. And then lunch I'm off as well. I'm live for afternoon meeting, but off for journals. And then I alternate when I'm live for science with my students and when I'm live for social with my students. So if I'm live with my grade 4s for science, I will be live for social for my grade 3s. So I'm going to show you guys now what my digital plans look like. So here are the slides that I upload for my students. I'm just going to go through them really quickly. Today is Tuesday, February 2nd. See, this is exactly why I go through my slides. So just to make sure there's no mistakes. So we always start with our morning meeting. Our morning meeting consists of an attendance, a prayer, and then my Paths kit of the day takes care of all of these things. They read our land acknowledgement, they decide on the game that we play, they tell us what the weather forecast is, and then we shower them with compliments. They also have to share a compliment about themselves, and this is all from the Paths curriculum. So if you're not aware of that, that's all of this is from the Paths curriculum. And then we pick a Paths kit for tomorrow. And then I like to go over the schedule of the morning in our morning meeting, just so the kids know what to expect. So I just found a prayer for February. This is when I throw it over to them for the weather, and they like to pretend that they are a weather forecaster, which is quite funny. They read our land acknowledgement. I'm going to go into more detail about how this came to be in our class and how it started and how we've added to it and how we are planning to add to it some more. I'm going to do a whole video on that another day. So this is what my slides look like. So for language arts, we're going to meet live to talk about grammar. And then we're going to continue live to introduce Black History Month, and we're going to start with Viola Desmond, who we already know about, but we're still going to talk about her, and we're going to use my Black History Month resources that I have in my TPT store. Recess at 10 o'clock. Everybody gets a break at 10. There's no work at all at recess time. And then for 15 minutes, I just put student 1, 2, 3, but I have the list of students here when they meet with me, so they see that I am meeting with them for book club. we do guided reading together online. And again, I'm going to do a whole video on guided reading specifically. So if you're interested in that, let me know. But it is coming. And then math, I have to divide math between grade 3s and grade 4s just because grade 4s we're talking about long division. So we're going to continue practicing that. And then they have 30 minutes to practice their work. I met with my grade 3s yesterday to go over division, and it seems to be going very well. So I want to give them the opportunity to show me what they have learned both in mathletics and just in an assignment. And then we're going to wrap up division pretty quickly here. And then religion, I have pages in the textbook for them both to read. Grade 4s had an assignment already in religion yesterday. So there, lunchtime. Our afternoon meeting is much simpler. So I take attendance again. We play the Paths Kid game. I go over the schedules and then they do journals right away. So today's journal prompt is tell me about your parents. And I'm going to explain to the students when we meet that. I want to hear about their parents at home. So do they live with both their mom and their dad? Do they live with just one parent? Are their parents divorced, separated? Are they remarried? Do they have step parents? Things like that. So I want them to tell me about their parents. And then science, again, like I told you, we divide science. My time is divided live between both grades. So today I'm meeting with my grade 4s because yesterday with my grade 3s, I met with them live to talk about their project about making an instrument. So they're going to use this chunk of time now to create their instrument, and while I'm meeting with the grade 4s to introduce them to their new experiment. And so how it works then is tomorrow the grade 4s are going to work on their experiment on their own while I meet with my grade 3s and assess them and their musical instruments. And then finally, social studies. I meet live with my students every other day, and we go through the working together slides notebook. Again, that's also in my TPT store, but it's interactive, so the kids read a page from the textbook, and then they go to the corresponding slide. And when I meet live with them, I like to do those activities with them together. So we're going to work on 2 slides today. And then my grade 4s, because I'm not meeting with them live, we just did a major project yesterday involving a teepee diorama, and they had to present in front of the whole class. And so we're going to take a break today, and they're just going to work on one little page in their Google Classroom where they are learning about many different languages spoken by Indigenous people. So those are what my slides look like. I also have supplementary time at the end of the day, so we end a little bit earlier, but this is my prep time. And so I tell my students that I am available on Teams if they have any questions. This is 30 minutes where they can work on completing any sort of assignments or things that are not completed. And then by 3 o'clock, I expect everything to kind of be handed in unless they message me and tell me that they require some additional time, which they are totally welcome to do. So those are my plans for the day. It is 8:37, so I'm going to be live with my students in about 7 minutes. Not a big deal. I'm going to go in and just make sure that everything is uploading to Google Classroom, and I have all of my books ready to go, and all of my worksheets or things like that, activities ready to go. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I just had my morning, and we did our 2 lessons. So we talked about verb tenses in grammar. And then we also introduced Black History Month, which I'm wearing my t-shirt that I got from Michael's, explaining what Black History Month is going to be all about and how we're going to focus on 6 prominent Black Canadian figures in our Canadian history. And we started with somebody that we are already very familiar with. We started with Viola Desmond. So I reread this story to all of my students, which was a nice little refresher. And then we watched 2 little video snippets on the internet. And then now what they're working on is a little 1-page document kind of filling out a little short biography about Viola. So the morning went really well. It is now 10 o'clock, which means that it's recess time for everybody. And in 15 minutes, I'm going to have my book club with my group D students. So I have 3 students in that group. And they're all focusing on the same strategy of understanding what they read while they are reading it. So that's why they're grouped together. And after that, we move into math. So right now I have 15 minutes in order to prep myself for the next chunk of lessons. So I have my book club that I'm going to get ready for, and then my math lesson with my grade 4s. And then I don't have any more live lessons until the afternoon. So I'm going to go ahead and get my book club ready.
That drinks its mother's milk, has a backbone, and has hair.
Okay, perfect. So we're focusing on the word mammal, and I bet that word is going to come up at the end in our glossary, okay? First you must divide, then you multiply and subtract, then you bring it down. The last thing that you do is check. All right, my friends. So what's the very first step that we do? Turn on your mics and tell me.
Stack.
Stack the numbers. Okay. We have 224 divided by 8. Let's stack our numbers. We have 8 and 224. Great. We stacked our numbers. What's the second step that we do? Turn on your mics and tell me.
Draw lines.
Draw your PV lines. Draw your place value lines, right? Just like we do in addition and subtraction and multiplication. Let's draw our place value lines. Again, if I'm moving too fast, or if you're not sure what we're doing, stop me and tell me, right? Okay, what's the next step that we do? Turn on your mics and tell me.
Multiply.
Perfect.
Multiply.
How many groups of 8 can we fit into 2?
None. Nothing.
That's right. We can't fit any groups of 8 into 2. So I'm going to put a 0 here. Okay, so I just finished eating my lunch and it is 12:20. So I have about 25 minutes before my afternoon begins. Again, I like to take this time to make sure that I'm ready to go for my afternoon. So I go through each of my subjects, so social and science, and I make sure that both grades are accounted for. I make sure that both grades are accounted for and that all the materials, everything that I need, videos, worksheets, textbooks linked or whatever, everything is ready to go. Once I know everything is ready to go, then I look ahead to tomorrow and I will look at my plans for Wednesday, and I start by filling out all of my plans on this page. That way I know exactly what I'm teaching and I fill out all my plans. And then if I still have time before the afternoon meeting starts, then I will go ahead and I will start creating my slides for the next day, because that is what ultimately the students see. And I just copy and paste, and I make my life so much easier that way by making a copy of my lesson slides and then filling in and changing the information as I need. Tomorrow is going to be a busier day. I have 3 book club groups, Group A, Group B, and then Group E. So it's going to be a little bit busier, but should be pretty good. So yeah, I have 25 minutes before the day starts, so I'm going to go do that. I need sustenance to get me through the afternoon. So it's actually 12:39 and I managed to get all of my slides ready to go for tomorrow. So all I have to do now is anywhere that it says watch this video, I need to go ahead and record myself, which I'll probably do at the end of the day, but I'll record myself, I'll record the video, and then I will input it into the slides. And then anywhere that it says please complete this worksheet, if I have time before the afternoon meeting, I like to go ahead and get that stuff ready. So I'm trying to get as much ready as I can. Before the end of the day, so that when I have supplementary time at the end of the day, that's the time that I use to assess and try to mark some of the assignments of the day, just to help my workload a little bit. So yeah, super happy these slides are finished. Just have to now go and input all of the assignments and things into Google Classroom. All right, my friends, so we are going to talk about our next experiment. I'm going to show it to you today. It's not going to take you very long.
People can work together to improve their quality of life. For example, a group of students could decide that picking up all the litter in the schoolyard would improve joy.
Perfect. Thank you. So sometimes leaders aren't always elected. We learned about that in the last slide, right? Where you can vote for somebody if you really like them. All right, I'm biking right now. This is what I do in the afternoons to kind of get my blood flowing and get some movement in the day, because as an online teacher, I sit all day long and I didn't like that. No matter how many times Apple Watch reminded me to get up and moving. So I just finished my day. It's 2:03, so I'm about 12 minutes early, but yesterday we actually went over our scheduled day. We went over a little bit because we were presenting projects. So I'm okay ending the class a little bit early, but I ended it early just because I gave my students the 15 minutes to complete the activity for the day. So I gave them the rest of the social period in order to complete their social activity. So now I am on Teams. I am here waiting in case any of my students have any questions. While I'm waiting for them or while I'm available, I like to check in to see certain assignments. My students have until 3 o'clock every day to hand in their assignments, but I do like to check in to see if they've at least started them. If they haven't started them, then I sometimes message them or call them just to check in, see if they have any questions. A lot of times they say that they wait until now at the end of the day to complete it, which is fine, but it's just a good way for me to check in with them. I also will take this time to prepare my slides and lessons for tomorrow. That is number one, because that has to get done before the next day, and I like getting that done before I leave the school building. And then if I'm done that and I still have time before 3 o'clock, then I will start my assessments. So I'll go into Google Classroom and I will assess and mark certain things so that it helps me plan my future lessons, but it also helps me stay caught up in my report cards. So that is pretty much in a nutshell what a typical day looks like for me in the classroom. To be quite honest, today was a little bit simpler because I only had one book club, one guided reading group. Normally I have 3 in a day. So today was simpler. I only had one book club to do. So I am going to go finish my lessons for tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. If you have any questions about anything that I've talked about in my online day, please let me know. I'd love to answer them. I'm going to do a separate video on my lesson plans, specifically my resources that I use, things like that. So if there's something in particular that you're interested in, please let me know. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. I'll catch you guys all next time. Bye.